What is a panic attack? Hi there, and welcome back to Ask Dr. Syra, the show where I answer your questions about relationships, mental health, and personal growth. Today's question is from Sajid. Sajid asks a very simple question um, with a bit of a longer answer. So the question is, what is a panic attack? Seems like a simple question. What is a panic attack? I know that when I was growing up, we didn't really talk much about panic attacks, but there was kind of this trope or this meme of somebody kind of getting really stressed out and then like hyperventilating and then breathing into a paper bag. And that was that was the kind of the closest visual of somebody having a panic attack that I had when I was growing up. Um, there's some value in that, and I'll explain the science behind the paper bag in a minute. But let me tell you a little bit about the panic attack. So there's three different kind of elements of a panic attack that I wanted to explore with you. So one is that that the panic attack comes from intense anxiety that causes a fear response in the brain. So something really, really, really worried, anxious, and then the brain goes into fight or flight fear, and something happens in the moment. The physical sensations of fear. What does it feel like when you're really afraid? That's what it feels like when you're having a panic attack. So it could be your heart is pounding really hard. It could be you're feeling dizzy or faint or hot or cold. Maybe you're trembling or shaking. Um, it just feels like you're afraid. It's kind of like if you think about, I don't know if you like scary movies, but for those who do, you know that like really fearful thing, that jump feeling, that's kind of like a panic attack, but it lasts longer than just that one moment. It kind of lasts a little bit uncomfortably too long. So that's the first piece, is that there's a physical component and it's kind of out of your control when it's happening. Like once it starts, it's very hard to stop a panic attack as it's like in the middle of it. You kind of have to just ride it out. And the science of the paper bag. So what that's about is it's forcing you to take slow, deep breaths. That's what that paper bag is all about, right? Is it's kind of a visual clue to breathe out through your mouth, right? And so that activity of breathing out through your mouth helps to slow down the nervous system and helps to kind of regulate that fear response that's happening. So that's what the paper bag is about. Maybe you knew that already, but isn't it fascinating? There is a reason for that visual. So there's a physical component. That's the first thing. The second thing is that it occurs frequently and unexpectedly. So it just kind of feels like it comes out of nowhere. And it happens regularly. And when I'm working with people and they have regular panic attacks, our goal in therapy is to slowly reduce the frequency of the panic attacks and then get it down to kind of a manageable frequency. And then the next step is to reduce the intensity of the panic attack so that it doesn't last as long within the actual moment, because the fear response is going to be that heightened response every single time. The problem is when it lasts too long and it goes and it goes and it goes and you're not really like able to get through it very fast. And the thing about the panic attack is that when you're in the middle of it, you just want it to be over, right? So people will try all kinds of things to make it just be over. And so part of our work in helping people with anxiety is to teach them about distress tolerance and being able to manage that heightened distress and not freak out because once a panic attack starts, people often freak out now about having a panic attack. So they get even more worked up. So it's about kind of riding that wave and following the emotion and knowing that it will pass. And so they occur frequently and unexpectedly out of nowhere. And the third thing that's really important to understand when you're looking into panic attacks is that there's no actual external threat. So basically what's happening is that a fear response is being activated, but there's no particular external thing that happened that's putting you in a panic. So, you know, it wasn't a scary movie and you had that response. It wasn't, you know, seeing a predator and so your body goes into it. There's actually no visible or like objective threat around you. So that's what's different. So because all of us can have that fear response, and sometimes it's legitimate. Sometimes you're actually in danger and you do need that extra adrenaline and you need your immune system to be strong. And you know, we know that, when it happens infrequently, that stress response is it's for our survival, right? So it's kept us alive for however many thousands of years of human history. But we can't live there, right? And with the panic attack, it's like it's happening too much, too often, and there's actually no threat. And so, you know, some of the ways to get through a panic attack is to, as it's happening, as you're riding the wave of it, reminding yourself that you're safe. There's nothing to fear here. I am safe. And one easy way to do that is to just get back into this moment. And so there's different strategies that you can use to do that. There's all kinds of, you know, and you can talk to your therapist about specific strategies around that, but that coming back to this present moment can be helpful. If you're experiencing panic attacks frequently or you know somebody who is, the first step I would say is to get some professional support because you don't have to suffer through this on your own. There is help available. So reach out to your family doctor would be the first point of contact and tell them about what's happening. They can make recommendations for you for next steps. It's a very, very uncomfortable, difficult thing to be experiencing, and you don't have to suffer that alone. So that's what a panic attack is. So this intense anxiety that causes the physical symptoms of fear, physical sensations of fear, they occur frequently and unexpectedly, and they're not linked to an actual threat that's outside of you. So those are my thoughts on that one. Please like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time. Bye.